Gang, just came across an old book here. It's called Exposition of Old Moves. And it gives a bit of history of chiropractic and a man by the name of B.J. Palmer. B.J. Palmer is known as the developer of chiropractic. And when he took over essentially what his father discovered, his primary outcome was to prove chiropractic to the world as a legit profession and healing art. And in order to do that, he had to get results. And he was the man who was very scientific, brought X-ray into the profession, nervoscope scanning to help dictate whether to adjust or not adjust an individual, and help people get well. Connected them to their innate and allowed their body to heal. But he wanted it to be reproducible. That if you do it to one person, you could do it to another. And if this innate is so intelligent, how do you know when a person needs an adjustment and doesn't? So as I came across this book, it was pretty neat. Because, B.J. Palmer is known as what we call an upper cervical chiropractor, which is focusing on the atlas axis occiput area, which is the very top part of your neck, and making sure that area is clear, because it's the most important area of the body, because there's over 450 million nerve fibers that cross over in this junction. And it's where the brain stem resides, and it pumps through there, and it controls all your vital function of your body. And if your atlas and axis are subluxated, which means misaligned, putting pressure on that area, and those nerve channels are not connected, whatever they're supposed to be connecting to, whatever's at the other end of that communication, is suffering and dying. So B.J. Palmer, through research, found that this was the main place. He had a research clinic from 1935 to 1951. He had Clearview Sanitarium, which was a chiropractic psychiatric hospital. The guy was just absolutely amazing in the things he did. He was relentless in the pursuit of perfection and science, and showing that this was legit. And he's got thousands of stories of people with all kinds of conditions getting well. And one of the major premises that chiropractic realizes is that the doctor doesn't heal anybody. The chiropractor doesn't heal anybody. And sometimes people will say, well, you guys think you could heal asthma and headaches and allergies. And I laugh and I say, no. Who put those words in your head? And I think it came from a place where people were advertising these things, right? Throwing the bait out there to bring them in and say, hey, we can help you with this. And what they're saying is not wrong, but I think the perception of it has been taken wrong, that chiropractors are treating conditions, which we are not. When done right, chiropractors go in, detect subluxations, correct them through the adjustment, and leave it alone. And I tell all our patients that we sit back and watch the show as your body wakes up, hence, wake up humans. You see their spirit come alive, you see their nerve channels open up, and this miraculous body heals. Sometimes the issue comes, especially when people come from other chiropractors, and if you watch YouTube and TikTok now and you see these guys doing all these crazy maneuvers, it's funny because you could see them in this book. They haven't created it. The Exposition of Old Moves. It was copywritten in 1911 to 1916, it says. And it shows B.J. Palmer doing all kinds of cracking functions, all kinds of manipulations, all kinds of moves and things that he was researching to see if it was the best route to go with helping restoring nerve function, and I believe on a regular basis is the key. Regular, consistent, specifically persistent, which is why he ultimately came down to this little book here were not the moves he was using in his practice and ultimately in Clearview Sanitarium and taking care of, sick people. He looked at it, He obviously saw some value in it, but he didn't see the consistency of it. There was too many variables, and his job was to find constants, not variables, which is why he created a protocol that he believed chiropractors should follow to help people restore life. Now the question is, why don't the majority of chiropractors, why is it a specific percentage of chiropractors do what B.J. Palmer researched for a very long time and said this is the best route to go? Why are many chiropractors doing a lot of these maneuvers of yanking and twisting and cracking and popping, which could be fun, right? It could feel good. It could just open a joint. Maybe once in a while have it done, but on a day in, day out basis, what is it really doing? Can you define it? And that patient that's doing really well all of a sudden goes really bad. Were they over adjusted? And I wouldn't even call it an adjustment. Were they over manipulated? Was there insult put into the body when they shouldn't have been touched? And that's where the science and the analysis comes in every single day when a patient walks in. Whether they say they feel awesome or they feel horrible, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. When they lay down, they get analyzed. And if they don't need an adjustment, they don't get it. Their innate's on the job, doing the work that needs to be done. And it's the job of the chiropractor to be humble enough to say that intelligence is more powerful than what I think. So I'm going to step aside and say we're leaving it alone. Or the person that says, I feel awesome, and they come in and their scan is way off and their atlas is in right field, and they need an adjustment. That's the key. That's the connection. And that's pure principle chiropractic, my friend. You see these moves, these expositions here, these old moves, these are kind of fun. But we don't play with fun when it comes to your life, your health, your family. We want to be specific, scientific, and reproducible every single visit because your life matters.